Welcome to the VLIC method. Today we're going to learn how to solve a one-step equation, okay? And when you get further into math, you're going to learn how to solve multi-step equations. We could have you do as many steps as we really want, but we start you off with the basics, and that is one step away from knowing the result or the one and only number in the entire universe that would make the equation true, okay? How neat is that to figure out the one value that makes it a correct result. Okay, so I'm looking at these two equations. One of them says x minus 7 equals negative 6. Now, by now we should all know that when we use a variable such as x or p or m or n or any letter in math, we're representing an unknown. We don't know what x is. We don't know what the value of it is. And we have to determine or figure that out through algebra, okay, using math. All right, so something minus 7 equals negative 6. There's one number out there in the world, minus 7, okay, take 7 away from it, and you'll be at negative 6. Now, this is an equation that we're going to use addition to solve, and I'll explain why in just a second. Using addition. This equation is asking us to figure out what y is. Again, y is a variable, an unknown, something we're not sure. Some number, when I add 3.4 to it, or 3 4/10, I'll end up with 5/10 or a half, 0.5. Okay, and we are going to use subtraction to solve that one. Now I said I was going to explain why these are called using addition and why this is using subtraction, and it's all about what's called an inverse operation. Inverse operations are the key to solving any multi-step equation. Now, right now, we're not even into multi-step. We're just dealing with a one-step, meaning we only need to do one thing to have that variable all alone, isolated, so we know the solution. Okay, what we're trying to figure out is what number minus 7 would give me negative 6. Inverse operation means the opposite of the operation given. So if you see a subtraction, you want to use an addition, and vice versa. If you see addition, you want to use subtraction. So the reason we're using addition here is because this is a subtraction problem. We're going to use inverse operation. I write directly underneath the exact opposite, and then that same amount or same value. So it said x minus 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 7 to that. We're doing the opposite, which is going to, in a sense, cancel it out. Okay, it takes away the 7. If I had negative 7 and I add 7 to it, I end up at 0. Okay, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make a 0 and leaving the only thing left on the left side being the variable. We're isolating that variable. X is now by itself. If I do that same thing to the other side, I'm going to keep things balanced. So think of it as a scale. If I were to have the same amount of weights on the scale, it would be even. It'd be on an even keel. Okay, the second I remove 5 pounds off of this side of the scale, it's going to then drop on this side because it'd be heavier. So if I wanted to keep everything equal or even, if I remove 5 pounds here, I also have to remove 5 pounds here. Okay, but in this case, we're not removing, we're adding. So I'm going to add 7 to the other side to keep everything equal and even and on a nice balanced scale. And then I just add these values up, and I will know the one number that x can be to make this true. Negative 6 plus 7 is going to give me a positive 1. So x would have to be 1 to make this statement true. And that is solving a one-step equation using addition. Let's do it using subtraction. Why are we using subtraction? Because we see the inverse operation of addition is to subtract. Now, if I had 3 4/10 on the left side and I take 3 4/10 away, I've canceled it out. It is now gone. I take 3 4/10 away from this side as well. I'm going to get y equals, and now I take 5/10 or 1/2, and I subtract 3 4/10 from that. Now, if you have a calculator, just punch that in if you're not sure, but we should be practicing our subtraction with decimals. We should be able to figure this out pretty quickly. It's going to be a negative value because we're taking away more than we have, and you would actually end up with negative 2.9, or in other words, 2 9/10. This is how you solve one-step equations when you need to use addition or subtraction. If I see subtraction, I'm going to add. If I see addition, I'm going to subtract. And it is simple as that. All right, hopefully this made sense to you. There's a few tricks to the trade that I'll throw in some other videos. Feel free to go and watch those. The next video will be how to solve using multiplication and division. Same rules apply. If I see multiplication happening, I'm going to divide. And if I see division happening, I'm going to multiply. So stick with me, watch all the videos, make sure that you understand this so that you can score 100 on your upcoming test. Good luck.